Featherfin into Ryu, as well as Gamsu into Odo, but at somewhat of the cost of Reckless into Forgiven. Look at that 8 CS difference already between those ADCs because of how defensive Reckless and Fly have to play.
And it's the same thing that we saw in game number 1, H2K powering down that 2v2, making sure that they had the advantage. Of course, for Fnatic, Reckless and Cly, not really too much can happen in this setup. Both exhausts, no real kill pressure from either support or the other. Reckless wants time to get his first item, Forgiven just wants to shove. Bottom lane is the first point of contention. Gamsu, he's got to run.
He puts down the pillar, but doesn't help him a whole lot. Flash from Odoame as well. But Spirit's now coming into the fight. He tells Gamsu to go back in. But there's the first blood over to Jankos. The first blood king has arrived.
It looked perhaps like Fnatic wanted to try and take that fight. The problem was Gamsu didn't have the damage and dropped too low, and H2K just took him out. So it was a little slow off the mark for Spirit to get down there and group up, and Fnatic get punished.
And the last time Jankos got first blood, in the previous game, they went on to win it. I'm calling it now in 5 minutes. Let's see what, let's see what H2K can do with the rest of this. But I think it's very important for Jankos in particular to have a good start, because it's just how night and day his performances have been over the last 2 weeks.
Oh, if that's it, I'm not needed here. I'm just going to take a heads out and walk out. I'll see you in game 5. But H2K right now, oh, deja vu. Vander is going to try and interrupt again. This time not going to happen.
The winter's back. There you go.
Yeah. I'm going to get less excited for this one.
Yeah.
The first, the level 1 was
It's
a little
Spirit,
more
though.
enticing, but Spirit wants to try help out.
Yeah, maybe get more excited, or not.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go with or not, if you don't mind. But it is still the same scenario with Fnatic being pushed in. Take a quick look at what that first blood actually means. Odo got some breathing room. He was being bullied and pushed in really, really heavily. Still down in a lot of CS, and no flashes for both of those top lanes. And Featherfin, despite pushing Ryu earlier, has not farmed himself up a big CS advantage. There's a wave that Ryu should be able to catch most of here.
Yeah, there's actually a very big wave going towards Ryu, so not going to be a big difference. Top lane though, nice block from Vander. Good timing on the Unbreakable. And tonight I'll push tower, but yeah, big CS lead in H2K's lane, however, was Forgiven.
Yeah, Spirit on the other side is just going to utilize how far pushed up Featherfin is. Now it allows Featherfin to be safe here. He hugs the bottom side of his lane. Big wave pushed out means that this Ryze can't really come past it, and now Jankos has been spotted on a ward, so fairly safe for Fnatic to play on the bottom side of the map here, and Spirit goes, okay, I don't even have to leave the jungle now, I just take away the bottom side. Now does Jankos go into the enemy top side? That's what Featherfin, look at it.
Odo, he opted to engage with the Maelstrom. Gamsu's healing up. He's going to pick up the kill. Subjugate says, you shall not pass. And Spirit will help Gamsu on the tower.
What was that engage out of Odoamne right there? He looked like he was just trying to bait him perhaps into the tower, but he was way too far away for that. Odo thought he was stronger than he was. Subjugate comes out.
I think what he was thinking was Gamsu was low on mana. He can't use a full rotation on me in a trade, and I can Arcane Smash him into the tower even if he pillars, but he didn't Arcane Smash into his third ability, and Gamsu had enough for Frozen Domain, so you lose automatically, and then he was committed.
You lose automatically, and that's
Gentlemen,
the end of that
gentlemen,
trade.
gentlemen, the potential dive being set up from H2K. This was the mistakes that Origin was able to punish last weekend. This time around, Fnatic have decided to back away. There was no one really in range to support, and no teleport from Gamsu either.
Yeah, no real ability to fight from Fnatic. Look at where Spirit is on the map. He's busy taking away the red buff, so he'll be like, hey guys, I got that red. And Reckless will be like, well, we just lost the tower for it. I hope you feel that's worthwhile in this trade. But certainly, you highlighted the area there that H2K looking to set up these dives. That time they didn't want it because they didn't have a Kindred ultimate, and really couldn't dive it, but Fnatic conceded the tower. And H2K, this is starting to become a mirror of Game 1.
And Spirit, he's still in the enemy jungle. This is like, there's no crooks there because you took them like 30 seconds ago.
Remember, Odo's got no flash, and Gamsu's winning, so I think they're going for it.
Preemptive pillar, Spirit's looking for more CC, but unfortunately it's Trundle, so he'll get a little bit more down. Oh, Odo Ole goes back in and pops the eventual Maelstrom. This time it works out, and in the 1-on-2.
I'm not sure why Gamsu gets under the tower there. He didn't have his flash available either, and just stands in the Maelstrom as it's accrued all of that additional damage. It's soaking it up, and bang, down goes Gamsu in that bottom lane. Spirit didn't have the damage himself. Oh no, Spirit's so low.
I don't want this, I want to get out. He flashes over the wall, quick draw, but Jankos is going to follow him. He's trying to chase him down, but auto attack will proc the mark.
Looking for chance of arrows. Because how hungry are you? Not going to find it this time round. And flash for flash in junglers.
But what that does mean right now is that he does have access to the bottom side jungle. So he's forced Spirit out. He gets the flash, has to expend his own, but now he's able to regenerate a little bit of that farm difference that Spirit had opened up from the top side. Fnatic are pushing top at the same time. Odoamne is on his way up to try and stop that, and I believe he's going to get there in time for this wave, but on the next wave, Fnatic should be able to get that.
Still a tower advantage for H2K, even if Fnatic secure the top one. BF Sword and Pickaxe for Forgiven, so we'll be going that Infinity Edge route that we've come to expect from Forgiven. He does not abide by traditional ADC itemization trains of thought. Gamsu will be securing this top tower. Look at the bottom inner though, because Forgiven and Vanda, they've not let off. They're still pushing. Take a look at how much damage they've taken down. Look at that, 50% of the HP before Fnatic can respond.
Yeah, just good rotation. Spirit only now arrives and you can try and push them out of the jungle, but H2K just finding these small advantages, and I found in this series it's always been that bottom inner tower. That's always been the one to suffer.
Oh, gotta leave it alone at some point, guys.
Yeah.
You gotta let
Or alternatively, if Fnatic had double TP or whatever, they could respond in a different way. So, pretty heads-up play from H2K and slow reaction from Fnatic.
But this is the type of style that Fnatic have seen success with here in Rotterdam, as the crowd, I'm sure you can hear them winding up.
They certainly are trying to get that little wave.
Ooh, flash!
Oh.
Petrifying Gaze doesn't stun anybody. It's not over yet. Flash from Clyde. They really want Ryu. Twin Fang is poisoning Ryu down. Maybe gets the kill. A lot thrown in for that one.
That was the flash into the ultimate from Forbidden, so Ryu had the time to react to it. On Cassiopeia, you can actually ult and then flash to cancel the animation and still get the stun off. So Febiven, a little bit antsy, but they still get the kill on Ryu. They still pick him off. That's going to translate into the middle tower going down. H2K have just lost that all-important mid.
A lot of resources thrown into that play, but they still picked up the tower and a kill, which is ultimately a really good trade. That's evened up the goal totals. Exactly 2 towers to 2 right now.
Yeah, exactly 2 towers to 2. We'll see where it exactly goes for Fnatic. Febiven just bought an Abyssal Scepter outright from nothing, and now he's there. So, man, that was a lot of gold stacked on that Cassiopeia.
Look at me, Febiven says. I am in charge now. As he returns back to lane with no combat stats yet from Ryu.
Never look in the eye, okay? Only through a mirror. You don't want to get caught.
That's what Febby wants. He wants everybody to look at him. And he can get that advantage. Other big items picked up. Odo's got the Sunfire Cake to deal with Gamsu for the time being, while Forgiven is being pushed a little bit out of lane by Reckless in that bottom lane. Forgiven 120 against the 104 CS that Reckless has accrued. And the first dragon again goes the way of H2K. I feel like they've got first dragon every match this game, every game this series. I'd have to double check that with Spellsy.
Indeed.
I'm sure he'll tell you in just a
I'm
second.
hoping so. That was the prompt.
Okay. Well,
You know we have a button to do that. Yeah. You can press the button.
Spellsy, if you could hear me right now,
Yes, this is one of those like.
bestow upon me the stats.
Let's play along. Let's play along with the viewers. That's what we're looking for. So we'll find out in a moment or two. Anyways, taking stock, even on gold, 400 separates, 2-2 in kills, 2-2 in towers. Only the dragon difference for H2K.
There is that Infinity Edge that we were talking about earlier, and the other knock-on effect is not only the mana that really he's going to be missing, but don't neglect the cooldown reduction. Is when you have Essence Reaver plus the Zeal item, you get that extra cooldown. 30% cooldown reduction off a Sivir ultimate is a big amount of time that you can't have that ult to just go aggressive, and if you waste it a couple of times like Forgiven did, unfortunately, no disrespect, yeah, you're gonna just suffer in team fights.
that's exactly what I was going to say, because if you're just like throwing them out willy-nilly, then you really want them to count when you use them. So maybe that's the change that they're going to make in this game. But yeah, Forgiven first item Infinity has got to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, that is definitely the case. We need to keep track of his mana pool and just how much wave clear he's going to bring to the table. Trinity Force is getting closer for Reckless. He's prioritized those Sork shoes slightly earlier than maybe sometimes we see. Just a difference in build. And once that Triforce is completed with Gamsu and Febiven already, that is a very scary Fnatic team comp at this stage of the game.
Trevor, the omnipotent Spellsy, has confirmed it has been first dragon of every game going over to H2K in this series, so you were correct on your assumption. Spirit, ooh, found Yankos, but does he really want this?
He'll get into the line as well. A flash over the wall from Gamsu. An instant response with a flash of Yankos from his own, but he stuck around because he really wanted that buff from the Herald.
And what a difference in approach for both of the teams now that we're in Game 4. Game 1 and 2, it was patient, it was slow, controlled, and nearly no skirmishes. This time around, everybody's like blowing the flash. The instant a target is available. Both teams are hungry to close the series out, or at least pick themselves up another win to force that deciding game if you're H2K.
Thing is, for H2K, they couldn't really afford to take any kind of skirmish or fight, because down in the bottom lane, Forgiven was quietly accruing himself a lead there on the Sivir, pushing bottom out, 151 to 128 now on the CS. And Forgiven at this point, you know, as soon as he starts a group with a team, that's where you've got to watch for how H2K play these team fights. They faltered in games 1 and 2. Now they're playing you know, something that is more of the utility AD carry until you get that Critichet going through a team fight. So Forgiven, his decision making now is going to cost his team potentially, or be the turning point to win a team fight.
And the same token, the age-old debate of how quickly will Odo get the QSS versus the Trundle top? And what sort of impact is that going to have in terms of that 1v1? That is something that is very hotly debated. Blue buff was stolen away by Yankos, I believe, in that little contest.
Yep.
And Spirit peeled away, and Fnatic once again. Look, every single time Forgiven pushes a lane, the rest of H2K are invading to put wards down. They're enabling that pressure, and it is allowing for him to maintain the CS advantage.
This is definitely the closest early game we've had out of both of these teams. Usually someone has a significant advantage, but this is basically dead even. And now we just have to look at like where the gold is distributed and how the stats are stacking up. Specifically Yankos, he's now on 3 stacks in the Mark of the Kindred, so in a pretty decent place at 15 minutes.
And I want to expand on that because technically this Cassio was the lane prefer, the lane dominant champion into the Rise. And obviously we saw what Trundle could do until the misstep, the poorly timed dive where Gamsu donated a kill to Odo on there. So some small misplays in Fnatic aren't as ahead when maybe they should have been.
But you've also got to look at the Cassiopeia just does very well the later this game goes as well. Oh, in goes Clyde.
Oh, he's dropping very low before he pops the ultimate. He may even just go down. Forces the heal out from Reckless, and Yankos takes 2 tower shots. That's a very late ult.
And all Clyde got there was like a spell shield that came from Forgiven on that engage. That's really all he got, and lost all of his health and his flash for it in that situation. So over-aggressive on a target that they hadn't put the shield from.
But will this secure the tower? That's the question. Gamsu's going toe-to-toe with Odo up top and trying to shove the wave in. The rest of H2K, they backed away. So it did not secure the objective. No summoner spells were traded by H2K, and they got the flash and the heal from Reckless and Clyde, respectively. And all of a sudden, Fnatic, they're now playing again defensively. Well, Gamsu, oh, he's caught out.
Oh, Yankos has found him. Do not have those flashes, but Gamsu, he has to walk around his own pillar. And Yankos will take him down.
Oh dear.
Instant regret.
That's the kind of pillar that you're like, oh, well, I was dead anyway. I'm gonna set this as a monument.
Yeah. It ended up being a monument to Gamsu's death. 1-3-1 on that Trundle. Farming very well, but not really that big split push threat that we come to expect. And interesting that both of these teams have kind of like stalled out this mid-game because of the fact that there's actually a lot of towers still standing.
This is just Gamsu being far too far up in the enemy jungle. Look at it, none of his team are around. Nobody's even on the top side of the map for Fnatic, and Gamsu's like, I'm gonna take the Grom. That's what I want from this right now.
He's also very squishy because instead of Titanic, he went for Ravenous for the sustain as well in that lane. So if someone's ganking you, you're going to die very fast, which is what we just saw.
Yeah, and he's also like, I just want to clear these waves out in front of me. I just want to try and push the Maokai back as much as possible. Now he's building towards you know, the place of the crowd. Oh, mid lane Feather and the damage though.
Yeah, he backs away and a lot of damage in return from Ryu, because as soon as the Petrifying Gaze doesn't land, you can just turn around and rise. Like, Cassiopeia doesn't have anything really else there. Yankos flashes into the pit, but he's going to try and dance arrows over the wall. Oh, the interrupt from Clyde was beautiful.
It's not done yet. Reckless is looking for more. Gets the exhaust from Vanda. Vanda's going to stand behind me on a minion. Fnatic will pick up the Dragon and the kill. Very good play from Clyde.
Yeah, Clyde being able to interrupt there cost Jankos his life. Jankos didn't even have his ultimate, or at least didn't use it in that fight. Spirit in the middle lane, Forgiven.
He's being chased down. Oh, the Q will be blocked out from Forgiven. And I've got more auto-attacks to throw at you. And he will actually pop his heal there. Ryu is now caught out, and there's no heal coming in from his AD character to save him. But Odawane's there as well. Comes out with the Q, comes out with the damage. The Vengeful Maelstrom, not even being popped yet. Clyde is going to have to make a hasty retreat.
He's running for his life. The Boomerang Blade rattles across Fnatic, and Forgiven was left untouched in that choke point, helped secure the kill.
And the difference there is Fnatic were not ready to fight in that situation. Febiven right now, no mana on him, sat on 1500 gold, does not have his tier item fully stacked or even completed to try and get that Archangel. So it was just a teleport in from Odoamne, set up the fight from the side and allowed them to save Ryu and turn that fight back around.
So no teleports for H2K. Yes, they're marginally in the lead. We'll talk about that in a moment because H2K, they're sieging the tower. Febi's running out of mana. Will allow him to just clear the wave shortly. No TPs for H2K. Gamsu's got his available. And I really want to see how well he can split push with this Ravenous Hydra instead of Titanic, because I think it's a slightly different itemization, and he has that play once more.
Yeah, certainly difference. This was the interrupt on Jankos as he was going over. And now Fnatic turn their attention down onto Vander and the Dragon. They split focus, which is fine. They get the Dragon. Vander was running out anyway. They even got the exhaust from him. But here's where it started to go a little bit wrong for Fnatic, trying to chase over. Importantly, you just saw in the middle lane, in the bottom part of your screen, they just took the mid tower. So here, look at it. Fnatic want to go aggressive, but Febiven off at the side, fairly low mana. Gamsu goes into this choke point. Again, the pillar here is not blocking his way out, but as soon as he starts to go aggressive, that's when H2K come back up, and he can't really back away through the pillar that effectively. And from here, Fnatic are just like, well, we don't want the rest of this fight. Gamsu's down. We don't want this. This has not been the best of performances for Gamsu.
And this is very hard for Fnatic in team fights as well, because Odoamne is such a big wall of health that as soon as he turns up, especially in choke points, they couldn't hit anyone else other than Odoamne. So you just kind of auto-lose that situation, whereas Gamsu, he's very squishy, and he's not a tank right now.
You've got a Maokai that is very well farmed, starting to get fed. He has the tools to lock down Febiven, which will allow the rest of H2K to take him out. Forgiven's got himself that rapid fire cannon. Second item after Eye-Edge. Really wants to get those crits flying across all of Fnatic.
And wants to keep himself a little bit safer, throw out from a distance, make sure he can chase down those targets a little more effectively. Gamsu, though, has not built for any kind of skirmish or fighting as like a grouped team. And Fnatic have been dragged into that a couple of times now. In the last few minutes, Fnatic had to have that skirmish in the bottom side.
Hello.
Whoa! Forced to flash away because On the Hunt was used by Forgiven. They were looking to engage there, trying to catch him. So Clyde flashes preemptively, doesn't want to get locked down again.
Yeah, it just looked funny because we didn't see the setup, so like he's just joining his team. It's like, I want to be there too.
It's one of those things where we need to find out, does another play happen in the next few minutes? That means that Clyde's flash or On the Hunt comes back to bite them. Gamsu's going to take a very easy tower.
And this is the opening that Gamsu's been looking for the entire game long. No teleports available for H2K means that now that Gamsu's shoved the bottom lane out, he can continue to push and force somebody to come and try and deal with him. And that then opens up teleport advantage. Gamsu can join the fight, whereas H2K can't.
It will be progressively harder for him to actually take inner turrets, though. The outer turret at 21 minutes is fairly easy to take. But yes, he will carry on pushing and keep that pressure down. H2K currently don't have their teleport, meaning Gamsu can stay in the bot lane and actually apply pressure when Baron is actually on the board, and I just saw some pings towards it.
Wow, that's exactly what Gamsu is doing, trying to pull pressure. Odo's sustaining a lot of this damage, got the Sunfire, got the Glacial. In actual fact, somewhat turning it around. The passive from Odo is working wonders. Subjugate comes up from Gamsu, will buy some time, but not a lot. Jankos decides to come join the fight, but look at the rest of Fnatic. They're going to make a play for Baron. Gamsu will give up his life as Jankos secures the third kill, and the rest of Fnatic, they're on Baron.
Well, this is the gambit that Fnatic were trying to make, but immediately H2K are able to ward them away with those three-man stack, and then they have to back off. So I'm not sure about that one.
The thing is, Fnatic don't really have a viable tank for Baron right now, especially not without Gamsu being there. Gamsu dies and suddenly Spirit's half health trying to do a Baron. Alistair would have to ult to try and keep himself alive, and that's not exactly the best situation because you need that for the fight that's going to surely come when H2K are like, guys, they're on Baron, let's double TP in, or at least Odo had his available. So Fnatic give away the kill for not much in response right now. So H2K still slightly ahead or at least have just got slightly ahead.
Yeah.
Very even game.
It feels like the tools, though, that H2K have are becoming stronger. This Maokai is becoming real beefy. Gamsu can't bully him around. Gamsu's 1-5-1. And he's going to just melt if he's ever caught in the middle of the H2K squad. So it's a difficult situation for Fnatic at 24 minutes, despite being even in gold. And I really don't know who's going to kill Odo. I don't know who's going to have the damage over time. Febiven won't be given the time to do it.
Yeah. There's no percent damage, which is the big issue. And Gamsu, yeah, he can duel him one-on-one when he has Subjugate, but we saw that it takes so long, even with that, then someone can just walk down from mid lane and kill you. They have no answer. I totally agree.
Yeah, it could be tough without that real answer, but the thing is, we haven't seen Febby hit anything recently. So we don't have the true scale on where his damage is right now, and certainly over a prolonged period of time, if that petrifying gaze, God, that is difficult to say.
There's a lot of syllables.
I'm glad I'm
But
not
let's say
playing.
hypothetically, looking at the items, got Seraph's Embrace completed, Abyssal, as well as the needlessly large rod and another Amp Tome. How much damage do you think Febby actually has, Stress? You'll have to answer that quickly, because it looks like a fight may happen.
I'll let him answer it himself, because it looks like this is going to kick off.
And there's the sapling over the Wamne. Looking for this fight to open up. Spirit, he starts up the dragon. And Yankos, he's
On the
posting
hunt.
back and forth. On the hunt's being used. Odoamne goes in. Gamsu, he's going to be flashing away from him. Clyde pops the ultimate. He's not being killed for now. Dragon is still under contest. Fnatic do secure it. Odoamne jumps in. He's so tanky. Yankos, 1v1 duel against Spirit. He's trying to edge him outside of the circle.
It's not going to be enough just yet. Spirit finally goes down once the respite ends. Febiven is still holding on to the petrifying gaze. It misses! Febiven does not find a target, and Clyde loses his life because of it. Febby's in full retreat, exhausted. Your damage does not matter through that summoner spell, and H2K win the ensuing fight.
Oh, Fnatic held on to the ult for so long, and it's because H2K broke themselves apart in that fight. They had two split fights, and there is no real good opportunity for Febby to hit an ult. The point at which Acacio is trying to flash ult over a wall into a team that's fighting down shows you the difficulty of actually getting a good ultimate. Febby would have to step too far forward here. Wasn't anywhere near, couldn't be there. Neither was Spirit for this whole setup. Maybe if Fnatic had been together, they would have been able to do anything here, but as they try and chase down, Reckless even used his flash to try and go aggressively over the wall because he knew they had to get more from this. They just gave away the Baron, and it's still active on 3 of the 5 members.
Well, that is a big swing in this game and this series with that Baron going over to H2K. Currently the Baron power play not so strong after that ensuing fight, but now they have the opportunity to take some of these inner turrets from Fnatic.
And all of the momentum Fnatic have built up from games 1 and 2. Is it falling by the wayside? Is it coming apart? H2K looked broken to start the series, and now they are the ones in charge in game 4. H2K still have to do it again if they want to win the series, though. There is still another hurdle to be jumped by either squad, in fact.
I've got to say, mental fatigue is something that I'll be setting in about now. These have been very stressful games and very stressful wins for both teams. But they're holding strong currently. Febiven, you can't discount the Cassiopeia, though, late game. It's a lot of damage.
Well, it's going to be difficult to get through those minions. Baron buff, still for another minute for H2K. And Fnatic need to get in real close to get that wave clear. from Spirit. Look at this, top inner turret will be falling without contest.
H2K have been playing really well around the Cassiopeia, though, in this game. They've never really been grouping for a multi-burst ult. I mean, Febi's been trying to reach and get ultimates on a target that has a spell shield as well. The later this game goes on as well, you're going to probably see the QSS come out as well, and it'll get even more difficult for Febi to get good ults on multiple people. And that means his damage is going to be fairly reduced.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. 25 seconds before Baron wears out. H2K grouped up as a 5-man in the middle lane. Teleports are available as well, so they can continue to play around the map as much as they want. Jankos going to continue to add stacks to that passive as he moves into the jungle and the rest of H2K in a commanding position.
Commanding position, they want to look for mid as well. Just keep on piling on the pressure. Fnatic having difficulty clearing. Clyde tried to go in.
Now let's take a look how the fight plays out on the hunt used just to provide some wave clear, some utility. Fnatic give up the presence on the tower, and this should mean the tower for H2K.
And again, though, Clyde tries to go aggressive with the flash play on Alistair and does not find enough of a target to lock people down, and Fnatic right now are in a rough spot.
Yes, they certainly are. H2K return to the lane. Actually, didn't have the minions to work with, so they've caught Spirit. Spirit's rooted in place. It will not go down just yet.
H2K still sieging up the mid lane, but they realize that they're just hitting a brick wall, so they have to back away here. And they'll just disperse back into their jungle. Dragon is up in 1 minute. That's got pinged out from H2K, so they're going to start setting up this preemptive vision.
Let's find out how they use that vision. 30 minutes, gentlemen. 3,000 gold separates these teams. It is H2K in the lead. 1 tower up, despite being a dragon down, but they secured the purple worm of Baron. That's what allowed them to be in control, and there's the QSS.
There is the QSS.
The first of many, I'm sure.
We'll see if it's responsible for the downfall of Gamsu in this game. There is 6 kills have gone over to H2K at Gamsu's feet, though, unfortunately. Gamsu not had the best series outside of his Echo games.
Yeah.
And maybe that was the linchpin for Fnatic, was getting Gamsu that Echo, which is so good at setting up the team fights. And this game, I don't want to say he's lost the plot, but he certainly has been trying to fight while very squishy. It's only now that he's really started to get any kind of resistance. He's trying to just bank on stealing a lot.
And how pivotal is it that Gamsu overstepped the second gank? Gamsu had some support from Spirit very, very early on and just went under the tower, giving a kill to Odo. That just, it seemed to reset the entire tempo of that lane.
Yeah, well, there was disrespect from both top laners in that one-on-one, because Odoamne jumps in, and then Gamsu's like, I can trade easily against this, and then vice versa, he just jumps in. There's the pillar out from Gamsu, and Spirit's going to put down the smoke screen, tries to go for the steal, doesn't quite get it. Now he's a little overextended, but Odoamne is separated from his team. He needs to try and get around this wall, but Fnatic are stopping him from doing that, and they're pulling the trigger.
Odoamne is looking for an engage, throws down the vengeful maelstrom. It's Clyde that's caught Jankos, but it simply may not matter. Glacial Fissure will buy some time for H2K to reposition. Spirit flashes away defensively, and here comes Reckless. It was a reckless move with the package, costing him his life. There is at least 1 kill back onto Vanda. Follow Gamsu as he's being focused down by 2 AD carries. It's a double kill for Jankos. A flash onto Featherman. Petrifying Gaze has already been used, but Ryu will run him down, prisons him with the rune, and Fnatic are in trouble.
Fnatic in major trouble, and again, H2
Now we turn our attention to Fnatic. Now, how did Fnatic bounce back? Fnatic are the ones with all the pressure. They've lost all the momentum. And you know, last week, Fnatic against G2, they looked out of sorts. They were quite clearly outclassed, and there was a lot of questions around their picks and bans.